Melinda Knuth, and my business is Eastern Nebraska Hydro Growers. So, my business is a product-based greenhouse corporation specializing in hydroponic lettuce production, which means that my plants are grown in a nutrient film system, which maximizes production space as well as provides a larger product in a shorter growing period. So, some competitive advantages that I have over my competitors is since I'm growing hydroponically, it's not a very popular type of growing quite yet, and so I am more of a specialty type of market. So the people that I'm trying to target is higher end clientele who are looking to be healthier and more conscious of where their vegetables are coming from. I'm also part of the Buy Local, Buy Fresh initiative, which means that since I am a local grower, my products are targeted more towards people who are looking into buying more from producers who are growing local product. And another thing that is an advantage that my business has over other businesses is that we are more sustainable, and so we use lower pesticide use as well as different types of integrated pest management. So I took a survey of what my consumers were looking for, and I found that consumers were willing to pay more for local products, and they wanted to see more local products in grocery stores, which I found encouraging because this is pretty much what my business is based off of. And so from there, as I will talk about a little bit later in my startup costs, I need a loan from the bank, and so I went to talk to a banker, and I found out that my interest rate will be about 8 to 12%, which is pretty average for bank loans, and so I found that encouraging as well, especially for the type of loan that I'm looking for. The location that my business will be in is around Lincoln and Omaha because it's more of a urban area, which will be more of where my higher end clientele will be located, as well as there are lots of farmers markets located in the area. And that's actually where my name derives from, is Eastern Nebraska Hydroponic Growers or Hydro Growers. So costs associated with my business. So my startup cost will be approximately $265,000. The reason that my startup cost will be so much is because I am planning on avoiding the risk of renting land and putting a long-term structure on rented land. Instead, I'm going to buy land, which is about half of my startup cost right now. And so because I have such a high startup cost, I am asking for a $175,000 loan from either a bank or investors. So for my payroll, I will be the only full-time employee for the first 5 years of my business. I will be hiring a part-time employee who will work about 30 hours a week, who will be helping me plant and harvest as needed. The reason that I do not have any other full-time employees is because of health insurance, as well as because hydroponic systems are more of a self-sustaining type of system. I don't need another person there with me constantly, so I can pretty much take care of the system by myself. And then I plan on hiring on 2 seasonal workers as needed, especially during high harvesting periods. And so that is why they are also located in my payroll section, as well as in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th year when my business starts to pick up more, then I can hire on another part-time employee who can help with planting and harvesting as well. My depreciation schedule has only one major object that is depreciating, which is my greenhouse structure, and it is over the longest period of time. So that is one of my more valuable items that I have. And for my loan, like I stated before, I will be hopefully obtaining a loan between 8 to 12%. And so my total interest over the 5-year time period that I am looking at will be about $40,000. And the reason that my payment schedule is in quarterly increments is because that type of payment schedule runs fluidly with the growing schedule of my lettuce, because my lettuce is grown in 6-week increments. And so, or they're grown in 6-week increments. And so it will work along better with my growing schedule and give me more time to generate income so that I can pay my loan. So for my cash flow statement, I have it broken out into 3 different parts, excuse me. So my first part is cash sales. So in January, when my plants are first starting up, I will be earning about $5,500. And from February to April, then I will be selling primarily only in grocery stores and to chefs. And then from about May to September, then production will pick up so that I am working at farmers markets, which will help a lot. And then when the farmers market closes in late September, early October, then my sales will go back down to $11,000, which will be, again, primarily local chefs and then local grocery stores. So for my cash payout, it's pretty standard across the board just because I am going to be planting every single week as well as harvesting every single week. So as for the purchases that I need, they need to be pretty on schedule. So that's why I have to buy things every single month, as well as all of my supplies and my utilities, and everything else, again, is pretty standard just because of the type of schedule that I have set up for my lettuce production. And in my first year, I will start out with approximately $200,000. And although my first year I will not be having a positive income, by my third year I will, as it works out in my balance sheet that you will see in a minute, as well as what I've been calculating out in my cash flow for years to come. By my third year, I will be earning a positive income. So the first 2 years, I will be mostly paying off large amounts of my loan, and gradually as my loan becomes less, then I can earn more and my business can be profitable. So for my balance sheet, here's a 5-year layout of what my balance sheet will look at like. My cash sales will increase from year 1 to year 5. My long-term mortgage payment will decrease until my 5th year, where there will be no mortgage payment anymore. And the major thing to note on my schedule is that the first 2 years I will be putting money into my business through investment capital, but by the 3rd year, money will be coming out of my business and it will be generating its own income, which, again, like I stated before with my cash flow, even though I might not be earning money the first 2 years, by the 3rd year, my business will be profitable. So, things that I like about my business is that hydroponics is in my opinion, an up-and-coming thing in agriculture, and I think it's the next step that growers have to take to make their businesses profitable, as well as a way to supplement the need for food in our growing world. Some improvements that I can see for my business are potentially changing purchasing land to maybe renting land so that my startup costs will be less, as well as maybe not doing lettuce production because it is such a hard market to get into, maybe doing a different type of plant or vegetable. So thank you for listening to my business plan, and I hope you enjoyed it.